Hey guys, Eric with Verus Engineering here, and today we'll be going over our install on the rear diffuser for the 981 GT4 you see behind me. First, I'll be going through what is included in the rear diffuser kit, and then we'll be talking about what tools you'll need for the install, and then we'll start with the install manual. Each rear diffuser kit includes a right and left hand diffuser plane, and then the center diffuser plane, 4 strakes, and then 4 brackets, as well as an associated hardware kit. Now we do offer a flat underbody panel kit as well, but that is an option and that is sold separately. The tools we're going to need specifically for the rear diffuser will be a socket or a ratchet of some sort, 16mm socket, 10mm socket, long extension, 2.5mm Allen wrench, 7mm with various assortments of extensions and swivels. This helps during the install. 4mm Allen and 10mm wrench. We have already assembled our 981 GT4 rear diffuser. However, we're going to throw the 987 rear diffuser assembly together real quick. It goes together the exact same. The center section is the only difference. We're gonna start the install by assembling the rear diffuser. So we dumped out all the M4 hardware and we will basically assemble the 2 pieces of carbon with a strake in between using this hardware. You have bolts, large washers, small washers, and nylock nuts, all stainless. We will use the larger diameter washers for the outside strake and the smaller diameter for the inside. Let's get to work. Grabbing a washer and a bolt, and then another small washer and nut, we will be able to begin installing this strake. Alright, at this point I have all the bolts, washers, and nuts installed. We obviously give you a few extras just in case you lose some. And then basically I created this for the nut side, and then I use an Allen wrench on the other side. This kind of makes it go a little bit quicker, but you're also welcome to use a wrench, basically any set of socket tools that you'd like, but this is how I did it personally. As far as tightening torque, they're M4s. They don't need to be extremely tight. They are nylock nuts, so they're not going to back off. I would go snug. You're talking maybe 60, 70 inch-pounds of force, not a ton. At this point, the rear diffuser is fully assembled. All the bolts are tight. And then if you look at the outside, see here, large washer on the outside of the strake, on the outside strake, and then small washer was used on the inside on the carbon side. It's time to move to the car and start installing some brackets. So first we're going to get access to this location right here by removing these 2 and loosening these 4 nuts. They are 16mm. Let's go do that. With the nuts loose, we'll grab this bracket and assemble it above the under tray, as you see me doing. Basically, you'll pull this down and place this in between the 2. Now you'll want to slide this as far forward as you can, and then use the OEM nuts and put it back on. With this bracket installed, we're going to now install this bracket, which will get the 16mm long button head cap screws with a large washer on this side and a serrated nut on the back side. Now with all the bolts and nuts on, you can tighten all the bolts. Generally speaking, the serrated will dig into the metal, and you do not need to use a 10mm wrench on the backside, but it's not a bad idea. Now the front bracket for the rear diffuser is fully installed. We're going to move to the rear two, which are located right here, so I'm going to have to move the camera, and we'll do those. Now what we need to do is remove this 10mm, this 10mm, loosen this middle one, and then do the other two on the other side so that we can install the rear brackets. I've already loosened them, so I'm just going to remove them by finger. I'm going to install the passenger side quickly, and then we'll move to the driver's side, but they're the exact same, so as long as you follow along with this one, you'll be able to do the other one pretty easily. Basically pull down on this metal bracket, and you'll want to slide our bracket in above it, and then use the OEM nuts to tighten it down. Now that both brackets are installed, we're going to tighten them up with an extension and a swivel 10. Tighten the upper one right here with a ratchet or wrench. With all three of the brackets installed, we're now ready to install the rear diffuser. But first, if you're going to do the underbody panel as well, we recommend you follow that install manual, and we're going to do that on this install. So we're going to actually assemble the rear diffuser to the underbody panel before we install it. So it's now time to fashion the flat underbody panel to the rear diffuser, and we'll do that with the M4 hardware, 2.5mm Allen wrenches, and a 7mm socket, and then we'll bolt them together. The rear diffuser and the flat underbody panel are now bolted together, and we are going to put it on the car. So at this point I have the rear diffuser and underbody panel positioned under the car, so it's ready to go. The bolts and hardware are all ready, with the washer on the button heads and the nuts ready to go on top of the brackets. If you have not followed along with the rear underbody panel, flat underbody panel, go watch that video and ensure that that is fully ready to install. If you're not doing that, you're just doing the rear diffuser, follow along. It's basically very simple. You're gonna push it up and bolts on the bottom, nuts on top, and then we tighten everything. But I'm gonna go grab somebody to help me since this is a large piece, and we'll install it. You get to watch it. Also, one more thing, if you're installing both, we're gonna recommend to install these bolts first, which are actually on the flat underbody panel. If you are installing just the rear diffuser, I'd recommend starting with some of these outside front bolts and letting the rear diffuser hang down a bit, and then go up to these bolts, and then finally do the center ones. But let's get to it. At this point, the diffuser is fully installed. Thank you for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Let us know if you have any comments. Please send those to sales@verus-engineering.com. Questions as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks.